Hello, my name is Dawson-Baglien. I'm here to do a presentation between agriculture and how it accumulates wealth and for which people it accumulates wealth for. I hope you enjoy my presentation. Thank you. In 1776, when this country was founded, nearly all of Americans worked in agriculture. Now that number is down to 3%, and we have a lot of things to thank for that. To start off with, we had to have a food surplus so that other people could focus on things other than producing food. And this allowed for a lot of great ideas to take place and a lot of technological advancements. Some of these were related to farming, like new farm equipment directly related to farming. And some of these were things that helped out farming, like transportation and like refrigerated rail cars and things like that. And that caused agriculture, the crops and livestock and things to be shipped to other places around the country. So all of these advancements in technology led to the Industrial Revolution. The key in the Industrial Revolution to our immense growth is that labor was much more efficient due to this technology, and we had an abundance of food. In many countries in the developing world, the majority of people still work in agriculture, and much of these people still work on small subsistence farms. Recently, these countries have had an industrial revolution, these developing countries, and their growth during that period has rapidly outpaced what we did during the Industrial Revolution, thanks in large part to technological advances that they have that we did not have at the time of our Industrial Revolution. Anyway, there has been a strain on these farms in the developing world to start producing crops for export, produce these cash crops, and smaller farms are being pushed out by bigger corporations, just like something that's happening here in the U.S. And these policies and subsidies to produce these cash crops are not doing good things for the poor subsistence farmers in the third world. This continues their cycle of poverty, and the process of uneven development continues as these people are unable to get on their feet. Here I'll briefly discuss industrial agriculture, the pros and cons of it. Pros, obviously labor is much more efficient. You have machinery doing work that people used to do. Your yield will be much greater, the same reason. Lower cost to the customer, you're producing a larger amount of it. They're creating a store of food for the non-growing season. This is what I referred to as the surplus earlier, and this continuing surplus allows other people to specialize in other things. Some of the negatives of industrial agriculture are like the overhead, buying the tractors and all the machinery can be too much for small farmers. Fertilizers and pesticides have a known track record for not being the best for the environment. And more land is needed for industrial agriculture, particularly when they grow just one crop, because they need more area to refine that crop afterwards and produce the finished product, whereas if they used mixed-use agriculture, this would not be necessary. Farmers, well, at least American farmers, are making much less money than they used to. Cash crops are emphasized for exportation. We have some unfavorable trade policies with certain countries. And recently, this has been interesting. There's been a decline in the amount of money farmers make, but not for what consumers pay for the same goods. So this money has to go elsewhere. So this goes to what's known as pre-farm gate, which is all the stuff that happens before the materials get to the farmer. Like these are the people who produce the seeds and what have you. And then there's the post-farm gate, which is what I have detailed here, the shippers, retailers, advertisers, wholesalers, the people who take the product from the farmer and then bring it to the market. Then the people who really clean up financially in the agricultural industry are the people who invent some of this new technology, and especially if they have a patent. I decided to highlight some of the crops that make the most money in the US. Soybeans are a big one. They're growing a lot around where I live. They're very versatile. You make tofu, all sorts of vegan products, all sorts of vegan meat. Um, you can use corn as well. That's a big cash crop. Again, a multi-use crop. You can use it for ethanol, as a food source, for cornmeal, corn syrup, etc. Berries, these tend to be more labor-intensive components of large farms. It takes a couple years for them to start turning a profit, berry farms, but highly labor-intensive, but highly profitable. Then Christmas trees and pumpkins are two things that are seasonal and that there's a huge demand for, but only during certain times of the year. To sum things up, most farmers make less money than they used to. Small farmers and their farms are being taken over by larger corporations. Either that or they're just being priced out of competition by not being able to compete with them. Cash crops are increasingly being pushed to be grown in the developing country, which leaves a food deficit for the people who actually live there. And although industrial agriculture has made farming easier, do not forget that it has come with its share of side effects. And remember, the people who make the most money from farming are the ones who supply the farmer and the one who take their product to the market and sell it. If you have any questions, I can answer them now. Thank you.